Long way, get this shit a long way, this shit a long way. Long way, hit the long way, 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 shit, long way, 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 shit a long way. Gotta get the shit a long way, gotta get the shit a long way. Gotta get the shit a long way, gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta get a meal, but she don't understand. She be tripping every day, she be tripping every way. But I gotta get this shit a long way, gotta get this shit a long way. Tryna get money every single way, tryna get money every single day, get money every single way, every day. Every day we gotta get paid, every day we gotta get paid, I'm feeling like we be the new slave. No, we gotta finish rich, no, we gotta finish rich. Got a new bitch, she don't understand, she don't understand, she's gotta get rich. She don't understand, sometimes we gotta hit lit. No, we ain't hit lit, get the long way, Gotta get this shit the long way, Coach is tryna wrap up a entree. Told you the other day that did my phone strong. We gon' shoot the long way, we gon' get the long way, get this shit the long way. My bitch be trippin' back and forth like a phone way. My name is Tari, I'm not playing games, so I'm done Tari. Yesterday she told me that she about to leave, I said fuck it, bitch, we gon' get some money. I said fuck it, bitch, I'm about to get some money. So what I do today, I went to got some money, Cause we gon' get this shit the long way, we gon' get shit the long way, back and forth like the pong way, man, I'ma get this shit the long way, get this shit the long way, just the only way today, because they go with shit's crazy, we gotta wear a mask, we the new slaves, and we be wearing this shit like every day, we be okay, we gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, they gon' be okay for me. So we gon' get this shit the long way, 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 we get this shit the long way, cause we gon' be okay, we gon' be okay, we gon' get the long way,
Hello. Welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt. I'm your host, LJ Young, the founder of Savings Minus Debt, SMD. SMD is a family. I am not SMD. SMD is a family. My name's LJ, and I'm part of SMD. Just because I started, I'm still part of it. It is a family of people who own themselves or are on their way to owning themselves. Because just like if you have followed me and if you haven't even paid off your debt, but you have woken up and realized that you're a debt slave, that's right there. You're part of the family immediately, because millions of people don't know that they are. Millions. So I'm going to tell you a quick little story of how it became to owning myself. Because when you're a debt slave, you don't know you're in a debt slave in the debt matrix. Okay, that was me. All right. Quick little story of how I came to getting out. Now, I followed all the rules about good credit, good job, all that stuff they say in the debt matrix. It's just chatter, right? People just don't know what they're saying. I followed all the rules, kept my credit good, had a great job. Every time I signed up for a loan, I would get it because I never missed payments. I always had good credit. Till one day they told me no. They pointed me to debt to income ratio and said, this is why. I went to look at it and they said, the reason why we're not giving you the loan, long story short, reason why we're not giving you the money because you're way deeper in debt than how much you make. That's the long story short of debt to income ratio, right? So I said, okay. But then I went back and looked and I was like, wait a minute. By following all the rules, it is what got me in that much debt. That's what I said to myself. I said, wait a minute. By following the rules, That's why I'm so deep in debt, because of the rules. But this time you're telling me no. I said I never miss payments. No. Yep, no. I said, now that is weird. That's what I said to myself. That's weird. So I went on Google, start typing in debt to income ratio so I can understand what it really means or whatever, right? By typing in the word debt, I came across Dave Ramsey. I had never heard a man speak like him, because everything he was saying to me as an engineer made mathematical sense, and it just made life. I just wondered why I didn't believe it. So basically, to me, what it translated, because I didn't need to buy any of his programs, I just heard what he says. He says, hey, long story short, if you use always trust the calculator, always trust mathematics, and trust the calculator, and use my baby steps to do it. Here you go. Here, use my baby steps and trust the calculator. And that's what I did. And I freed myself and I got to zero. He said, you get to zero. Now, when you're in debt, I thought zero just meant, oh, I ought to have no debt, and I don't owe anybody. No, that was the moment I started owning myself and I didn't know it. I was so happy and everything. Hey, wow, this is freedom, right? And I started trying to tell my friends. They just didn't. They're like, what? That's stupid. That's dumb. I'm like, what do you mean that's dumb? It started blowing my mind, and then start growing from there. It just kept going and going, and more freedom and more freedom. And hey, the 40-hour work week's a program, and then it's like, then all of a sudden it dawned on me. It's like, wait a minute. If I was in the negative my entire adult life up to age 40, that means I owned nothing. Nope, sure didn't. Nothing. Everything around me was mathematical illusions. I said, well, if it's illusion, but I physically had it, that means it's psychological. Yes, it means it's psychological. Yes. That's why capitalism is psychological. And this is psychological capitalism, but you got to remember, at the same time, it's a choice. You are choosing not to trust the calculator. That's you. You are. You look at the calculator and say, I don't believe it. That's a choice that you're making psychologically. Okay. That's where it's, and if you make that choice, guess what? You don't own yourself. Now, I didn't know any of that when I was in the debt matrix. I want you guys to clearly understand that. I didn't know any of that. I followed, hey, this is a high value person. You got to have good credit to do anything. Hey, if you ever want a house, you better have good credit. All that's all chat. That's called chatter. Things that don't make any mathematical sense that they're saying, that's chatter. Once you're out of that area, once you understand capitalism is psychological, I don't hear that anymore. I don't pay attention to any of that. That's gone. It's just, I don't even hear it. When you like here, let me give you a version. Let me give you an example of what I mean. If somebody tells you that you can invest while having student loan debt, that's called chatter, because that's mathematically impossible. So I don't listen to it. So, the majority, and this is part of the program, and it must be this way, okay? When they tell you interest rates on student loan debt is really, really low, why not invest in over here where you make a higher interest rate, and then you could take that money and pay off your debt? Well, that's because you can't do that, because if you have no money, you have no money to invest in anything to earn interest on anything. That's called chatter. You disconnect it. Once you learn and understand what I'm saying, you will own yourself. But first, when you're in the debt matrix, you don't know you don't own yourself. That's going to be the hardest part for you. You have to step back and mathematically believe, and no, mathematically trust. Not even a belief. Math is not a belief. It's a fact. You will have to step back, look at the calculator, and believe it. You have to. This is all you really have to do. First, you have to log into your Credit Karma and see that that's a negative number. You have to believe that is your net worth. Do you understand how hard that would have to be? Do you understand how hard that would have to be for anybody? You have to be mentally strong. Say like you're in a house and you've been in for 10, 15 years, and then you decide to go ahead and trust the calculator, and you realize the whole 10, 15, 20 years you've been in that house, you never owned it. You know how hard that takes a strong mind to accept that. And then you add car payments and student loan debt on top of that. Hey, it will take a very strong mind, but that's part of the process of owning yourself. You log into your Credit Karma, you see that large negative number. That is the price you must pay to own yourself. To be where I'm at today, you have to pay the price, just like I did. I had to believe the large negative number, and I said, I'm not gonna. I didn't say that. I didn't know this at the time. I didn't know that that's the price of my freedom. I didn't know that. I just knew I just wanted to get out of debt because I was tired of making payments. Well, when I got out of debt, I realized that was the cost to own myself. This is what I do. I don't want you guys thinking that I'm just, hey, I'm a person that gets you out of debt. And, because soon as you debt slaves hear a person saying, hey, I help you get debt free, you guys tune them out immediately because you guys don't want to be debt free. You think that's dumb? That's stupid? Well, you don't know that's the cost of owning yourself. You guys don't know that. But that's your cost. So I make sure when people ask me what I do, I say I help you own yourself. They go, because you guys have never, ever, I can promise you that. I can promise each and every person listening to this video, I know for a fact nobody has ever turned to you and said, hey, I can help you own yourself. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. And when you hear me say that, don't try to take out the what I sound like. Do I sound arrogant? Do I sound like I'm all that? No, I just want you to stop and think and say, has anybody ever told me that? I guarantee you nobody has. Guaranteed it. I guarantee it. Of course, you're going to stop and ask me, hey, LJ, what's that mean? Own yourself. What do you mean I don't own myself? I'm free. Well, that's what you think. I can show you on a calculator. This is what I'll say to you, too. Imagine we're on the street and I stop you. And, hey, I have something on my shirt. And it's always going to be my statements. You're going to make you question, right? And then you're going to see a shirt say, how I help you own yourself. One of you guys are going to stop me and say, what do you mean help me own myself? That's the first thing I'm going to say. What, you're going to ask me that question. I'm going to say, I'm glad you asked. Pull out your calculator. And then I'm going to use something the majority of you guys have is mortgages. Okay, you guys, the majority of you, not the majority, but a lot of you have mortgages, right? I'm going to say put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance. Because first I'm going to ask you, no, this is the better way. First I'm going to ask you, are you a homeowner? You're going to say yes, okay? Now, don't worry about how I know this information I'm going to tell you. Don't worry about that. I'm just here to tell you that I can see something that you can't. That's why I help you. It's part of the process of helping you own yourself, right? You'll see, hey, I help you own myself. I help you own yourself across my shirt. You'll read it. One of you guys will stop and say, what does that mean? What do you mean help me own myself? I'll say, are you a homeowner? You'll say yes. I'll say, okay, pull out your calculator. And I'm going to say, put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and hit equal. And when you're done hitting equal, I want you to stare at that number and just listen to me. What kind of house can you buy with that amount of money? I would say, according to the calculator, are you a homeowner? That's what I would say to you. As you're looking at that large negative number on your calculator, you're going to look at it and say, and I'm going to say it again. According to your calculator, are you a homeowner? You're going to say no. Then I'm going to say, why do you believe you are? Then why do you believe you are, even though the calculator is telling you you're not? Why do you believe you are? You're not going to have an answer for me. You know why? Because you don't know. You're in a debt matrix. The debt matrix is a place where you can own things with no money. Only in the debt matrix. What I do is help you come out of there. By helping you come out of there, I help you own yourself. Something millions of people don't know. They don't even know they don't own themselves. Don't even know it. Walking around daily life, driving nice cars, fancy stuff, phones, cell phones, everything. You want to, here, For those of you, and the reason why I'm saying like this, because I remember being in the debt matrix, knowing that there was something wrong, wondering why I was still living paycheck to paycheck, even though I was making six figures. I just couldn't figure out why I was doing it. It was because I didn't know capitalism was psychological. I didn't know all I had to do was trust the calculator. I did not know that. I didn't know what a credit report really is. I didn't know what it was. That's an owner's ledger. That's an owner's ledger. That's how they keep track of all the debt slaves. That's how they duh. It's not a secret that nobody's hiding anything from anybody. All you gotta do is log into your account. If you want to see how many owners you have, go log into your credit report and look. Those are all your owners, and they will own you until you pay until you pay their money back. Then you, if you opened a business and you loan people some money, wouldn't you be upset? Wouldn't you be pissed if they didn't pay your money back? Wouldn't you be? Then why are you trying to do it to them? Once you own yourself, you will know that. What's up, Demetrius, Malika, BK from the Rockies, Willie? I help people own themselves. The same, the same way I know that you've never heard nobody say that ever. I help you own yourself. What's that mean? What? Guarantee you haven't heard. Just like I don't. Once I help you own yourself, you'll never forget me or the SMD family. There will be nothing like SMD. Nothing. Unbelievable. You guys have no idea what it's like to own yourself. Your whole entire world will change. Entire world will change. World. You'll be still listen. You'll be still in the same world physically, okay? Not like physically. I'm not saying I'm transferring off a planet or nothing like that. I'm just saying it's the same world, but it's different. Once you own yourself, you'll know you can see all the people just talking shit about being rich and having money and thinking that's hey, listen, just like a glass pane window. And this is the reason why. Listen, when they don't know, listen, when debt slaves don't know that they're in the debt matrix. Okay, they don't know that. Since they don't know that, all they speak is debt. If they've been in a debt matrix all their life, they have no idea the language of debt free exists. They have no clue. Once you own yourself, you do. And then you always hear the people speak debt, no matter what they have, what their house or whatever, because you got to remember, debt slaves believe payments is normal. They believe that's normal. That's you're supposed to, and you own things. They believe you own things making payments. Owners don't make payments. That's why they're owners. You can't tell a person with a mortgage, hey, you do know I'm an owner because I don't make payments. That's what it makes me an owner. If I'm making payments, that means I don't own it. When you own yourself, you'll never embarrass yourself like that ever. When you own yourself, instead like you're going in to get a business loan. Business loans are okay. We say like you're going in and you want a business loan, you want to expand. You walk in with your financial portfolio, not counting things that are bank owned. Oh, I own this, the equity in that is mine. You're not going to embarrass yourself walking in the bank claiming you own things that you don't. You won't do that. They're going to know. The bank is going to know. The bank is going to know when you for sure don't calculate your net worth with finance property in equity. Count your net worth with equity in finance property. You will not embarrass yourself at the bank like that. You will not do that. You will walk up with true equity. Yeah, this is mine. And they will know it. You know why they'll know it? Because none of their names will be on it. All your equity that you show them in your financial portfolio, none of their names will be on. No bank name will be on any of that. They will know. And they will know that you know. They will like, this person has been talking to somebody. They will know right. Hey, listen, you got, when you own yourself, I'm telling you, they will know right away you have been talking to somebody. I promise you that. Those kind of financial portfolios are rare. And what you know what's so crazy, when you don't own yourself, you don't know that your credit report is your financial portfolio. It is. I'm gonna just tell you right now, people that own themselves, our credit reports are blank. There's nothing on it except the credit score, and that counts on your age. I'm talking about within the credit report, it's blank. There's nothing in there. Just a whole bunch of zeros. Maybe one credit card. I'm gonna say take that back. Maybe one credit card, because when you understand how it works, you use a credit card for its purposes. That's your that's your net worth. That's your real financial portfolios. When you don't own yourself, you don't know that. You won't embarrass yourself like that, bragging on your credit score. Like, hey, my credit score is this. You'll stop doing that. You will stop embarrassing yourself, because those of us that know, credit score don't mean anything. That's a private business. The credit bureaus are no different than Amazon. You don't need them. You don't need them. They need you. But you guys believe it's reverse. But it's not true. I'm here to tell you, once you own yourself, this is what I do. I help you own yourself. Unlike anybody you have ever encountered, I promise you that. I 100% listen to the tone in my voice. You got to listen to the tone. He knows something. He's been talking about this for years, and nobody has said nothing against him. Have you noticed that? If you haven't noticed that, I really want you to notice that, because I guarantee you, people have probably went out. Who would this guy think he is? Hey, you have your financial degree. Go ahead and check out his channel. See if he knows what he's talking about. I'm sure that has happened. It still hasn't happened though. Have you noticed that? Because it's truth. You cannot go against the truth. You have nothing to do. You have nothing to use against the truth. The only thing, listen, this is why it hasn't happened, okay? The only thing that can go against the truth are lies, and lies don't work against the truth. That's why. This is what I do for people that come to me. I help them own themselves. You guys really don't, when you own yourself, when you do, and what's so crazy, I just give you the blueprint. Here, this is what you do right here. This is what you do. I wish to God I wish I was around for me. Maybe I was, I don't know. But once you own yourself, you know how hard it was to do it. First, you got to wake up, realize you own nothing. Then you got to do something about it. You got to do what it takes, everything legal, do everything, work, whatever it takes to get out of the hole. It counts on your age. Once you get to this level where I'm at today, which took some hard work, very hard work, especially mentally, very tough, hard work. Once you get here, you're not going to accept anybody in your life, relationship wise, that doesn't own themselves. Like when you guys see all these relationship channels, They're telling you what to do to get a girl, get a mate, or whatever you want to do. I'm telling you, I'm talking about serious relationships. Say like you're looking for a serious relationship. I'm telling you, own yourself first, and then you will not have a relationship with anybody that doesn't own themselves. I promise you that. I promise you. That's all it is. That's all it is. Because it's like this. Say like, say like when you okay, if you own yourself, right? You don't have car payments because car payments represent debt. That means they're in debt, especially if they're financing a phone. But we're gonna kick it with car payments because people think car payments is normal. So if you go out on a date, everything's great, and you guys are getting along, you're just laughing and chuckling and whatever, right? And you're kind of getting into each other, and then you're like, "Hey, it's gonna come up because once you own yourself, that will come up. I promise you." You could be like, "Are you making car payments?" And if they say yes, you're gonna be like, "Oh shit, that's a sign." Okay, if they're making car payments, they're probably financing that phone in their hand. Yep. You said you went to college. Think about it too. If the person you're going on a date went to college and you find out that they're making car payments, you got to automatically assume like, oh, that means they must have student loan debt. They must have student loan debt. And if they have student loan debt and car payments, that's a problem. That's a red flag. Nope. That relationship goes nowhere. Do you understand? That relationship stops. You talk to them and say, hey, by the way, what are you going to do about that debt? You're gonna have to say it in a different way or something. But when you listen, it's like this. When you own yourself, you won't even allow the relationship to get deep enough to even make those questions be uncomfortable because it doesn't matter. You'll get that done early. If you find out they're making car payments, they don't care about having student loan payments, and you own yourself, that's over. And you won't have to do what they call ghosting them. You'll just tell them, hey, why is this relationship over? You would tell them because you're in debt. That's what you're going to. It doesn't matter if they understand it or not, because the majority must remain. The majority, in order for psychological capitalism to work, the majority must remain in debt. The majority must not own themselves for psychological capitalism to work. I'm okay with that. I'm 100% okay with that. That's I understand. That's how it works. Okay, I get it. These are the rules. Okay, all right. That's how it works. Because you get to choose which side of it you want to be on. You either trust the calculator or you don't. If you don't trust the calculator, you will never own yourself ever. I'm just here to tell you that you will never own yourself because you can't mathematically. According to the laws of mathematics, you will never own yourself. If you one of the people that have student loan debt and you've made up in your mind that you're not going to pay your student loan debt off, you might as well turn this video off right now because you will never understand what I'm saying right now. You will never own yourself ever. And that's a fact. That's 100% fact. If you just made up in your mind that everybody has them, you just die with them. You can never know or feel what I'm trying to explain to you today. You can never see it because the only way to see it, you must do it. You have to go through it. You have to understand it. You have to feel. You have to actually feel to own yourself. You have to feel what it feels like to pay back all that money you borrowed. You have to feel that. The reason why you have to feel it is so you don't ever forget it. Like the thought, like when I even think about owning myself, I mean, I've owned myself for a while now. As a person who owns themselves, I couldn't even imagine sitting down at a car dealership and signing my life away for 84 months for a car. I could not even imagine that. That would be that would be pure torture. Having to give a certain amount of money of my money every single month. for 7 years of my life for a depreciating object outside, earn, earning interest for the bank and finances, and not only finance the car, I finance the taxes to go along with it. Can you? I couldn't even imagine, because you guys, when you don't own yourself, listen, when you don't own yourself, you have no choice but to finance taxes. You guys don't even know that. When I think about that shit, me back in when in debt matrix, it make me want to throw up. I want to throw up. Here I am back then. Oh, taxes this, taxes are bad. Taxes, yeah, LJ, because you're financing them. That's why you think taxes is so bad. Taxes are so bad because you're financing them. I would have been like, what do you mean I'm financing them? Okay, okay. First of all, you want a car, right? You want a brand new car, LJ. I wish somebody would have told it to me just like this. You want a brand new car, right, LJ? Yeah, I do. How much the car you want? $40,000. Okay, first log into your bank account, see if you got $40,000 in there. I wouldn't have had to log into my account to know that. I don't have $40,000 in the account. That means you don't have no money to buy a car. But since you don't believe that, let's just go down the road so you can understand what you just did. Okay, now we're at the car lot. You have no money to put anywhere, but you want a brand new car and you think you can get it because you got good credit, right? Yeah. And you think you're the shit because you don't have to put no money down to get it, right? Oh, yeah, I'm the shit. Okay, dumbass. Now you're gonna finance the whole thing. And since you don't have the money for the car, guess what else? You ain't got $40,000 worth of taxes either. Guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna wrap them taxes up into the loan with your loan itself for the car, and then wrap it up and put a percentage rate on top of that. So that's why you think taxes are so high, because you're financing them, LJ. That's why, and you're doing it for long periods of time. Now, LJ, now you're tied to your job and your car and the bank for at least 7 years. And you know why you got car payments? Why? Because you're financing a cell phone. See that phone in your hand? Yeah, you finance that too. That's embarrassing. That makes me want to throw up. Today, when I think about that, it makes me want to throw up. Finance phones for 2 years. Finance a phone for two. That is the biggest red flag. Let me tell you something. When I help you own yourself, you will never embarrass yourself like that. You will never do that. You'll know immediately once you own yourself. You'll know immediately who are those are that around you that are full of shit. You find out they're financing the cell phone in their hand, and you know they get one every year. That is a financial red flag. Everything else you see are mathematical illusions. How do I know that? They're financing a cell phone. You got all this money, but you can't buy a phone in cash. That's a problem. When you own yourself, you can see that. They can't. Why can't they see it? Because they don't own themselves. That's why they can't see it. That's why when you don't own yourself, that's why you believe it's normal to finance a cell phone, because you don't own yourself, obviously. People that own themselves don't finance cell phones. Because if I finance a cell phone, that means I don't own myself anymore. Verizon or AT&T or whoever I finance the phone with now own a piece of me. I'm not giving a piece of me away, a piece of my life away for a cell phone. Do you understand? When you own yourself, you don't do shit like that to embarrass yourself. Because you don't realize there are people, sprinkles of people like me around in almost every crowd listening to you say stuff like that. If this is you and you think it's normal and you're saying it out loud, I'm telling you, there's people like me sitting around. They're not going to tell you. If I find out you financed a cell phone, I know the car you're driving, you're making car payments. How do I know this? Because you're financing a cell phone. Because I know if you had cash for a car, you wouldn't have bought this, you wouldn't have financed the cell phone. See, you see how it works? It goes in reverse. Just reverse engineer it mathematically. If I could buy a car in cash, I sure in the fuck can buy a phone in cash. Okay, I promise you that. Not the reverse. This is the ability. This is the ability that I give you, not give you, share with you, that comes along with owning yourself. When you build a listen, when you build a business, say like you decide to build a business, when you own yourself first, you'll know exactly who to pick to be on your team to handle your financial, especially anything to do with money and finance. If you're, especially if you're partnering up with somebody, tying yourself legally, you're going to know immediately. Not this is how you determine if you're going to find, if when you own yourself, you'll know to do this by default. Whoever you're deciding to be with, you have to see their personal credit report. You gotta say, hey man, you got to find out if they're in personal debt first, because listen, once you see their credit report, you will know how they treat their own personal finances. That's going to transfer to your business finances, because if they're not going to treat the business finances better than their personal finances, they're not going to do that. So all you have to do to get ahead of the game, all you got to do is say, hey, a requirement is to see your credit report. I'll show you mine if you show me yours. That's a requirement. No? Okay, then we're not doing business. No. I got to see the personal credit report will show them how they are treating the business of themselves. When you own yourself, you know that. They don't know that they are a business within themselves. They have to they're a business within themselves, and they don't own the business of themselves. They don't know that, so you would decline doing business with them. These are the advantages. So when you got, say like you're going to hire a tax person, a business tax person to do your taxes, right? A professional that knows the game. You first questions you're going to ask that, especially listen, especially a tax person. Are you personally debt free? That isn't anything to do with like tax level business taxes. That's a requirement. It's you find out a person and they don't even know what the reason of being personally debt free to being a professional tax person. If they don't know, they are fired. I mean, excuse me, they're not even hired. Excuse me, I'm telling you from the wrong perspective. They are hired. Are you debt free? Because if you ask them that question, they're going to know why. I swear to you, if you ask them that question, first of all, they will probably rarely have ever been asked that question. Are you personally debt free? Okay. But if they don't know, they will become offended. If they do know, they will say, who told you to ask me that question? I promise you, they're going to ask you, who told you to ask me that question? You say, LJ from S&D told me to ask you that question. That's what they're going to say to you, because that's very important, especially to be a professional tax person. That is key. And say like you're a person that's going to be some kind of tax business professional. I promise you, own yourself first. You will be the best in the business. You will be the guaranteed best in the business, guaranteed the best, because you will have the advantage over the majority in the business. You know why? Because the majority don't understand that capitalism is psychological. They don't understand that. They cannot understand what is phantom income. They don't understand that. They can't, because they're in debt. You will be the best. Same goes for an accountant. If you got a business, you're trying to look for a business accountant for your business, they must be personally debt free. They must own the business of themselves, especially in business. That's what I mean. The business of themselves, they must own it. Because once you own yourself, you understand the real rules. You understand the correct rules. You understand the purpose. Once you own yourself, you say, "Oh, that's why tax evasion penalties are so severe." Got it. I understand now. You really do. You're like, oh, because even when I was in the debt matrix, I was like, wow, why is that so severe? That's damn near get the same time for murder. Same amount of years, and you're like, but they didn't do anything. You think it's not a big deal. It's a very big deal. Once you own yourself, you clearly see that is a very big deal. Oh yeah, okay, got it, understood. Like, here, let me give you an example of people that are doing this for sure. You're doing this, right? But as you listen to me, I want you to really understand, so you can understand and think to yourself, well, how does he know this? Okay. So believe it or not, there's like people, they do tax evasion all the time, especially in business, right? Do tax evasion all the time. Now, when you own yourself, you understand time is the most valuable thing on earth. So you're not going to possibly get it taken away doing illegal things that you don't have to do. Now, those of you doing tax evasion, you're doing it for the money. That's why you're doing tax evasion. You're doing it for the money. Now, you're not doing it to, you're not doing tax evasion to pay off debt. See, that doesn't go hand in hand. You don't like, hey man, I'm gonna do some tax evasion so I can pay off my student loan debt. That doesn't happen. You're doing tax evasion because you want to buy more shit, finance more shit, whatever, right? Now, you don't understand that taxes go along with the laws of mathematics. Everything has to make sense. Now, the majority of you get away with it for a few years and think, oh man, they're not catching me. There's so many people to catch. Whatever. You guys all think the same thing. Okay. I'm just telling you, you're all thinking the same thing, but you're using the money to buy more shit. So that means you're spending the money that you're supposed to be paying. So when they finally knock, now people that do that are usually in debt. They're already deep in debt, because only people in debt would sacrifice the time in their life for worthless pieces of paper. Okay, worthless pieces of paper. All right, so you're usually going to spend all the money. So when they come knocking on the door, they already pretty much know you're not going to have the money, because all you got to do is look at your personal credit report. It will be clearly noted. You could see, oh yeah, they don't have none of this money, none of it. They don't have any of our money. Now, imagine already being in debt, being caught for tax evasion. You're going to probably not only lose the most valuable time, possibly lose the most valuable time in your life, which is jail time. You're losing it, period. And penalties and fees, buried in more debt on top of the debt you have. Buried. I mean, buried in debt. I'm talking debt. And the possibilities of you now ever owning yourself are slim to none. Because not only that's the debt you cannot bankrupt, because if you could bankrupt penalties, that wouldn't be a punishment, right? It wouldn't be a punishment. So imagine having those kind of penalties, student loan debt, and now you're a felon. That almost takes you out the game of ever owning yourself, never being able to feel what it feels like the way I feel today. Especially like when you're young, like even thinking about this right now, when you're young, when I was young, I didn't realize at 18 I actually own myself, because at 18 I have no debt, right? Of course I don't know that, right? To I don't know. I don't even imagine how that could possibly happen, for somebody to walk up to me and say, "Hey, today you own yourself. It's up to you to keep it that way. Hey, if you break the law and you possibly get caught, you're going to be buried in even more debt with fines and lose the most precious, valuable thing on earth." I'll be like, what is that? Time. Will you go to jail for it? Yeah, don't do it. I wish somebody would have said that to me. Are you going to die? Yeah. Remember, that means that's always worth more than money. What's worth more money? Time. In order to do that, you must always own yourself. I wish somebody would have been able to say that to me. Everything would have been different. Everything. The younger you understand this information, you will dominate in anything you choose. Nobody will understand you, nobody, but they will hear the confidence coming out of your voice, and they will know it by the way you speak. They will know immediately. They won't know why. Let me give you an example. You know how when sometimes you walk into a room and people can feel the energy that emits from you? They just naturally just like, whoa, somebody. It's not even necessarily what they're wearing, or they might not be wearing some designer suit, but something is coming from them. That's what I mean, because you guys don't know. When people like me walk into a room, you don't know why that is. I do, because we own ourselves. I literally know by owning myself, I'm different than millions of people, millions of people, and can prove everything I'm saying with mathematics, everything. This would be your gift. Once I help you own yourself, this would be your gift too. You'll do the same thing and do whatever you're supposed to do here and dominate in whatever you choose to dominate, whatever. Do anything, and everybody will know you're different. Your whole attitude, confidence, relationship wise, you'll be there. Say like you're a young dude. Let me explain to you the difference between what they're telling these young men or not. I mean, what they're telling these young men how to get the women, and how to, all this stupid. It's just so fucking stupid. It's stupid. This is all you got to do. Listen, young men, listen. First, number one, own yourself. That's first number. If you are in debt and you are in your 30s, you're in your 20s, especially in your 20s, you ain't hardly got no debt. In your 30s, you still got some. Stop. Trust the calculator, get out of debt, own yourself. Right there, your whole life is going to change. This is why it's going to change. You're going to become so confident because you're going to immediately know that you're different than millions of people, and you're not going to accept any bullshit from anybody. It's not even, you don't even have to be rude about it. It'll be natural. You won't be trying to do anything. It'll just be that way. And then when you're young, you just want to date, guess what you're going to say to every woman that you meet? I'm just dating, and I'm dating other people too. And it's going to be that way. That's how you'll say it. Because sometimes people will say, hey, yeah, we're just going to do it casually. And then all of a sudden they end up having sex, and it's really, really good, and things start changing. But if you're out there dating and the person you're having a relationship is in debt, that won't change, because they don't know that they don't own themselves. You're not going to be in a relationship with a person that doesn't own themselves, especially if they don't know it. You won't do that. You won't care what they drive. You won't care where they live. You won't care where they work. You won't care about their profession. If you find out that they don't own themselves, that you'll tell them. So you'll say, I'm just dating. And then say like the sex starts happening. And then you'll remind them after each sexual, hey, by the way, we're not going to go any further than this. You be honest as a young man. You be honest with every woman in your life. Just be honest. And I promise you, they will have never heard of a man like you before. I promise you. Always be true to yourself, what you want. Each woman you come up to and say, hey, hey, what are you looking for? She says, oh, I'm looking for a relationship and do this. Well, I'm not the person for you. Why? Because I don't want a relationship. That's what you'll say. Then what you're looking for? Oh, just casual sex, just having fun, or however you want to put it. It'll just be clear, just this. I don't want anything else. And then you throw the ball back in their court. And if they accept what you just said, everything's good. And then in a relationship, that it starts, from a man's perspective, if she starts to try to change and, hey, I'm starting to have feelings for you, and you say, do you want to end this now? Then thank you for telling me we should end it now. Or you could take it upon yourself to do it. Like if you've been telling her the whole time that it's just this, it's just this, it's just this, because you will. Once you own yourself and you're messing with a woman that doesn't own herself, it will be really, really easy. I promise you. It won't take any. But being like that, she will always know, because she will never have heard a man remind her of it all the time, right? And she'll realize, not even sex is not changing how you felt in the beginning because you know she doesn't own herself. Especially if, like, if you're not looking for it, you're just not looking for it, you'll remind them, say, hey, I'm not, because in the reality, you're not going to accept any woman that doesn't own herself. So it doesn't matter. But you, in the process, you're being honest with yourself and you're being honest with every woman that's coming into your life. They will have never, ever come across a man that's so honest. I promise you. First, they're going to think it's fake. This is how it really works, because you got to get through all the bullshit that they're saying in the world, right? First, you got to get through that. You're going to remain the whole time. It's not going to be a 3 months you're going to change. It's not going to be a 6 month. It's not going to even be a year, because if you're kicking it with this person and you clearly see that they're not doing anything about owning themselves, don't want to hear it, don't, because you're going to probably mention it to them, because you're not going to be a complete a-hole. You're going to throw it out to them, see if they're even interested. But if she's not even interested, you're going to know to keep her in the debt slave category. That's it. They're going to be like, girl, he's been telling me that since the whole relationship. Really? Has he been telling you he's been dating other people? Sure has. He tells me almost every day, hey, I'm dating other people. It's never changed. Nope, never changed. And if she turns around and say, hey, Linnell, I'm starting to get feelings for you. Okay, it's time to cut off that relationship. See, I don't want to hurt nobody. As soon as I would hear that, I would say, okay, this relationship has to be over now. Why? Because you have feelings for me now. That I told you not to do that. I said, this is not that. They'll be like, they'll be like, damn what? They will have, the women will have nothing to tell to their girlfriends if you guys broke up and not seeing each other anymore. They will have nothing to tell their girlfriends. Well, girl, what happened? Was he fucking around on you? No, he always told me that he was seeing other people. No, he told me that. All those times you guys went out to dinner and stuff, he said, yeah, this doesn't, he kept telling me this, even though we're spending time together, this changes nothing. I don't want, I enjoy being with you, but I'm saying it doesn't change anything about being in a relationship. Girl, he would always remind me of that. Yeah, they will have never heard of any man doing that ever. You would, especially knowing, doing what you're doing, besides just catching diseases, you will always use protection, always, because you would not want to impregnate a woman that doesn't own herself, because you know what would happen if you did. You would be, not only biologically, you'll be legally tied to a debt slave too, that's tied to the debt matrix. You'll be tied to that. You would know immediately if you accidentally did that. A piece of your life for at least the next a piece of the time in your life will be tied to the debt matrix of you, of no power. You have no power in that, tied to the debt matrix for a minimum of the next 18 years, a minimum. Whenever that's done, that will be on purpose, and that will be with a woman. I'm telling you, you guys, that you guys think I'm bullshitting. It will be only from a woman. You will only have a child from a woman that owns herself. Because when you own yourself, everybody understands the rules. This is what I do. This is what I do for you. If you're a person with low self-esteem, this changes. If you're, listen, if you're a person with low self-esteem and you believe your debt is causing that, that's true. How do you change that? You get out of debt. You own yourself. You come see me, I help you own yourself. That's gone. You know how much, think about this. I want you guys to think about this. When you own yourself, that stress doesn't exist. You know, that causes stress. That causes real stress. And just because you can't see it and feel it, you can feel it inside your body. It changes your body. It can make you feel bad. Something that physically, your stress is a psychological thing. It's not something you walk outside and say, oh man, I caught the stress. I shouldn't have been next to those bushes. I knew better to be outside when my hair is wet. I caught the stress. No, that stress is psychological. And if you have debt, it causes stress because you psychologically believe that debt is normal. It's not. When you own yourself, you know that. And when you own yourself, you know that. So that means that stress doesn't exist. And when you have no stress, you sleep better. Your body needs sleep. I don't care what they say in the debt matrix. When you own yourself, you understand that sleep is important. That's very important. When you own yourself and you know time, you're like, wait a minute. Biologically, do I have a choice to sleep or not? No, of course not. We don't have a choice not to. We go to sleep. That's natural. Who knows why it is, why it happened? But in my mind, that's telling me that my body is saying, I need you to be unconscious to do the repairs I need to do on you. This is how I take it. That's exactly how I take it. I need you to be unconscious. Here, I'll put a movie on for you called A Dream, just so you just be here. But if you're stressed, you're probably barely getting any sleep. You're probably dreaming. You're probably dreaming about why you're in debt and losing something that you never owned in the first place. You don't understand. All that disappears. Scared of car payments, scared to go to your mailbox. All those stresses, those are gone. All that's gone. You're no longer scared of your mailbox. I want you to really think about that. If you're a person that's scared to go to your mailbox, that's because you don't own yourself. That's why. Because when you own yourself, you're not scared to go to the mailbox because nothing's going to be in it unless you want it to be in it. Well, I can't control junk mail, but I'm saying as far as bills and debt, nothing's in there unless I want it to be in there. Like electricity, that comes, period, because that's where I live. Lights or water, whatever. Okay, of course that comes. Okay, boom, there. But it's not a big deal when you're not in debt. When you own yourself, you will clearly understand that things are not as expensive as the debt people in the debt matrix make it believe. That's not true. None of that is true. But the reason why they don't know that is because they don't own themselves. I'm here to help you stop being that. Stop saying things like that out loud in public, especially at in financial settings, talking about money and mortgages. And there are people like me sprinkled through, not many, but sprinkled through these crowds that are listening to you, saying, wow, you're just like them. You're just another debt slave, just saying things that make no mathematical sense at all and don't even know it. Because if you did know it, you wouldn't say it out loud. Like, here's an example. If you talk about having a first and a second mortgage on one house and you're saying it out loud, you know why you're saying that? Because you don't own yourself. You just told us not only one mortgage, you put two mortgages on one house. You know what that says to people like me? You own absolutely nothing. Nothing. Mortgages don't buy houses, they buy people. When you own yourself, you know that. Mortgages buy people, not houses. You're paying for the privilege to manage the bank's house. You're paying for that privilege. You don't own nothing. You even pay the taxes on it. That's just that kind of shit. It's so when you own yourself and you look back at that, it's like looking in the Twilight Zone. It's like, oh my God, I didn't even see it. No, that's your problem, LJ. That was your problem. Pay. They even have you guys paying the property taxes on properties that you don't even own. That shit is just, when you own yourself, you're like, wow, you gotta just clap. You just gotta put everything down, put your phone in your pocket and give it its props, man. You just gotta give it to you. Like, holy shit, I didn't even see none of that. You just paying me the money. Just pay the bank the money. You just give them their cash and you guys do everything else to it to even pay the property taxes. I was like, I'd be like, hey, banks, congratulations, congratulations. Now I understand why the bank buildings be looking like that in every big city. I now understand why they look like that. They're not throwing it in your face. They're not. I promise you, they're not like, look at the central bank in DC. Look at that building. That building commands respect, right? It just commands it. You just look at it. You like look at the big, tall bank buildings on the most expensive property in in the city. And you're like, that just, you know what they're saying? We know something that you don't. That's it. When you see big buildings and stuff like that, that says to me, when I see them now, they say, look how much there's plenty for everybody. Look what we're doing with all this money. Look what we're doing. Look at it. Isn't this just stupid, ridiculous, dumb, right? That means there's plenty. All you have to do is understand. You got to understand how it works. That's it. And then there's plenty for you. You can, hey, there's no limit. That's a definite no. Definitely no. No timeshare. No timeshare, sewer rat. What's up, Willie? I feel like I'm in church, huh? Listen to LJ go preach. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, Malika. Much appreciated. QJC, I just got off the phone with my best friend. She just got a notice in her email saying student loan payments are not due on May 1st. Now she's planning on going back to school to continue to delay payments. See? And you see what she's doing right there, QJC? Now listen, that's part of the program. She's doing exactly what they want her to do. She's doing it exactly. But she doesn't know that she's doing it. Ain't that crazy? There are some people that will they go to school so not to have to pay their student loan payments. Only people that don't own themselves would put themselves deeper in debt because they don't want to pay. Only people that don't own themselves do that. They don't know that they're trying their hardest not to face the music. And even that, the pause, I'm telling you how it works, man. It's just beautiful. It's just so beautiful. They do everything to make it okay for them to borrow that money. As long as they don't see it, they say, hey, as long as you're in school, we'll pause the payments. They're like, cool, man, no payments. I can get my education. It's just all part of the plan. It's just beautiful how it works, man. You can put them in forbearance. You can not look at them. It's just, they do everything to help them make whatever it takes to pretend it's not there, but it's always there. They make more money. When you own yourself, okay, put it this way: when you own yourself, you understand that having a student loan debt means you don't own yourself. If you have student loan debt, that means you don't own yourself. And as a person that owns himself, that's something I could not live with. There's no way I could live with that. No way. Just making just every month, just making payments, not knowing if it's going down or up, just keep giving. It's like this. It's like if you understood, you get that money that you send, and you take the time to calculate how much time you had to work to earn that money, that you just threw it away. Right. So if your payment is $300 something, and say like you just have a regular job, so it's going to probably take you a couple of checks to pay that money, or maybe not, who knows, right? But then you calculate how many hours did I have to work to earn that amount of money? And once you calculate that and you keep doing it and knowing that you're just throwing it in the garbage, and each time it's going up because it's interest. Oh, you guys don't even get it. When you understand, when you own yourself, you're gonna look at your family members, man, and you're gonna just feel bad. You're gonna feel bad. You're gonna look at them, and you're not gonna be able to tell them because they're not gonna want to hear it. till finally you're just gonna have to stop talking to them about it. You're gonna have to. That's part of the process. The debt matrix is strong. To own yourself takes a lot, not only paying off debt, okay? It's gonna take strong, you're gonna have to be strong mentally. You're gonna have to be strong to accept the majority of everything you've heard about money, investing, retirement, blah, 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 is from a debt perspective. People whom are in debt telling you how to invest. But when you're in debt right along with them, no matter the amount, long as you under zero in the negative, you guys are all the same. You don't know that you're all the same because you all speak the same language. Some make more money inside of the, you could have a person that's making $300,000 a year. Say like a doctor's making $300,000 a year, but he has $500,000 in debt. He cannot tell you about investing because he's in debt himself, but you can't see that because you see their car, you see their house, you see not, and I'm just talking about student loan debt. When you add, if they have that much in student loan debt, that means they cannot pay, they couldn't have paid cash for the house because the only way to buy a house is in cash. But if you're in student loan debt, you can't buy a house in cash. So the house is financed. So you add the mortgage debt on top of his student loan debt. And guess what? He's almost $1 million in debt, if not more. But you can't see that when you're in debt. Once you're out of debt, you're like, oh, they're all the same. Yes, they're all the same. They don't know that they're in debt. They don't all know they don't own anything. That'll be you. You will be free. You just won't be in that world anymore. What's up, Nicer? Parents taking student loans for their kids. Wow. Yeah, Parent Plus loans. The majority, and if this is you as a parent and you've done this, let me tell you that the program that you ran in your head to get a Parent Plus loan for your child, you probably had student loan debt already. You've already accepted that you're never going to pay off your student loan debt. So what does it matter if you do more? So you sign up and do it. You validate us for my kid or whatever you want to do that's all part of the program because it doesn't change the fact of mathematics. And so you bury yourself because since you're already given up on paying yours off, you add more. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna die with it, whatever. You've accepted. That's why the majority of people get Parent Plus loans for that reason. Feel bad. They should have saved some money for their kid. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'll make the payments, whatever, to justify whatever. That's all part of the program. Because when you own yourself, say like you're a young adult, say like you learned this information at 18 and you own yourself. First of all, you're not going to procreate with another person. The only person you're going to procreate with is a person that owns themselves. That's the only person you will decide to procreate with, period. You guys will both know the rules, and your kids will naturally be taught this way of thinking about money. So when they decide to have children, they will have money in the bank. When they decide to buy a house, they'll buy the house in cash because they will know that's the only way to buy a house. You won't be in those situations. You'll have money for your kids' college. They want to go to college, you'll have the cash. Here's the money to pay for it. Here it is. It's not going to be a surprise. Nothing will be a surprise. Nothing. If you have student loans, there is no retirement. Your kids will grow up knowing that retirement's not an age. Retirement is whenever you feel like retiring, whenever you choose. They will automatically know that if you have a mortgage, you can't have a retirement account. If you have student loan debt, they will know you cannot have a retirement account. You can't. So imagine some of those jobs that they take retirement out automatically for you, and you're like, oh, that's a good thing. If that's what you believe, we're gonna automatically take money out of your check for your account. Oh, really? You telling me what you're gonna do with my money? I guess I'm not working here. You're not going to tell me what I'm going to pay. You're going to pay me to work for you, but you're not going to tell me what you're going to do with my money. That's not going to happen. You guys are just paying into accounts with no money, none, because you don't own yourself. You cannot put money away for into retirement while having a mortgage, while having car payments, while having student loan debt. That you can't. When you own yourself, you'll know not to do that. Especially talk about it in public. Talking about how your retirement account is growing and all this other stuff. Like, say, like I was in a crowd with you guys at a barbecue or something, and you start talking about, oh yeah, man, my job is giving me a match, man. I've been dumping that money into the da da da, and it's man, I looked at the stock market, man. My retirement's rising. It's rising fast. You know, I turn to you and say, are you making car payments? You got a car payment? You say, yeah. I immediately tune you out because you cannot invest in anything while having student loan, while having car payments. Because the reason why you have car payments is because you didn't have the money to buy the car. And if you didn't have money to buy the car, you definitely ain't got no money to be investing in retirement. You can't do that. And I would be sitting there listening to you because you wouldn't even know why. I mean, I would rephrase the question. I'd be like, hey, man, are your car payments low or high? I would say like that. That would avoid asking me what the, because you guys don't really like to talk about exact numbers. I would just say something like, yeah, is your car payment low or high? Or is it good? If you say something like, oh, man, it's not bad. That's all I need to know. That's it. You just answered my question. Thank you. You don't know. You just ask. Only people that own themselves know to ask such questions because these are questions that fit into your world like as it's normal. Because the reason why I say it like that, because you believe car payments are normal. So if I ask the question like that, is your car payments high or low? Can you afford it? Is it good? You'll say, oh, it's good. That's all I need to know. You got car payments. And if you have car payments, that means you had no money to buy the car. Just keep reverse engineering all the way down, but you don't know that. I help you get out of that so you don't, if this is you and you listen to me and you've said these things and you did these things that I'm saying, or you believe car payments is normal, I'm telling you, there's people like me listening to you, looking at you. You don't know that you're embarrassing yourself by believing that car payments are normal. You don't know that you're embarrassing yourself doing that. You don't know people that don't own themselves. Not only do they hate taxes, they're financing taxes too. You guys are financing taxes. That's embarrassing. Do you understand? That's embarrassing. When you hear somebody making car payments, you automatically know that they financed the taxes to that car. They financed them. Because not only do you have to, the only way to buy a car is in cash. And if you have the cash, you have to also have enough cash to pay the taxes on the car. When you own yourself, you back to the woman thing, it's like, especially as a young man, you get you just a regular car. It's nothing to do with the stuff and the clothes. It's you, man. And when you own yourself, I'm telling, as a young man, I'm gonna tell you this. Okay, this is serious business. You will have a different kind of energy coming off of you that it will attract women. It will attract them to know because they will know you're different by the way you speak, the way you act. It to them, they'll look like, damn, this dude don't give a fuck. But it's not really that. It's just you. It'll be just you. You won't be trying, you won't be trying to act like somebody you're not. You'll just know that you're just being you, and they'll be like, what's up with that dude? You'll be that person that walks in the room and grab you'll be emitting that energy of I own myself in that room, and they will be attracted to you, and they won't know why, but you will know why. they will know immediately. You start talking to them, they will know that you're different by the way you speak. I promise you. I swear, I promise you, because everything will be matter of fact. There won't be no mumbling. It won't be not. It'll be it'll be direct eye contact. You won't be looking around. You'll be looking at them because they won't know why you're looking at them the way you're looking at them because you're trying. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to focus in on, is this woman a debt slave or not? That's going to be the main focus. I don't care how fine she is. Of course, she physically, you got to be attracted to it to even come up and talk to him, right? But the next thing will be it's an automatic. You will automatically be listening to the cues if they're a debt slave or not, because that's going to determine where this relationship goes. If you even decide to have sex, do I want to take that chance? Because if I know if I get pregnant, man, I'm going to be wrapped up in court, and I'm going to be one of those angry dudes on channels talking about the women are bad and they're so evil and they're taking all my money and child support, this and that. You'll determine, oh, no, I don't want to go through none of that. No, thank you. Because you're even going to think about this when you, I kid you not, when you own yourself and say like you understand that you're going to have sex with a woman that's clearly doesn't own herself, clearly don't care about being in debt, think debt is part of life, whatever, right? But you got sexual chemistry with her. You're going to have to think about it this way. Am I going to trust? Because you got to remember, condoms are not 100% guaranteed. They tell you that right on the package. They tell you that. Am I going to trust possibly the next 20 years of my life on this thin piece of rubber? These are the thoughts that are going to be going through your mind when you own yourself. This is what happens. You're like, am I going to really trust this, man? Am I going to really be able to take a chance? Are you going to take double measure? I don't know. Those things are going to be going through your brain. I don't care how hot and heavy it gets. I promise you it's not. Women will have never encountered a man like you ever. The younger you get this and understand this, oh man, you don't even get it. You don't even get it. And the whole time, guess what? You're just being yourself. You're just being you. And you say, I like me. I like owning myself. I know there's not a lot of people like me. There's millions of people not like me. I know that. Who cares if they know or not? Doesn't matter. Whatever. It's you, like when you go like, listen, young man, listen. You go, this is all you got to do. You go to your favorite dating guru or whatever, whoever you think is the master at whatever you believe it's the master, right? Because he's doing something, right? You ask that dude, you say, hey, can we see your credit report? You say, are you in personal debt? Okay, then don't go right off because they'll take offense to that, right? Say, are you in personal debt? And you find out if they are. If they talk like it's normal, you're getting information from the wrong person. You're getting information from a guru who doesn't own himself. Some dating coach, if they're in personal debt, you're getting advice on dating from a person that doesn't own themselves. They don't even own themselves. They're giving you dating advice? No. No, I'm not taking any advice from you. You're probably just telling me about your life feelings and what happened and how women did you. And so you just gather those experiences and think you're going to sell it to me? No, keep that shit. Keep it. I don't want none of that. And when you're young, all these places, these channels tell you fuck as many girls as you want, keep doing as many. No, you got to take it. Once you own yourself, you got to take a step back and say, I'm listening to another man tell me what I need to do with my dick. No, no, that's nasty. No, that's nasty. No, I'm not even thinking about that. That don't even sound right. That's nasty. No, I'll do with my private parts as I wish. Because when you own yourself, you are very selective. Very. It's not all willy nilly. It's not like that. All that kind of stuff stops. All that stuff stops. That just randomness. No. Mm-mm. You take that it's like, just to think about it today, I had my first son at like 22. At 22, I didn't have nothing. I didn't own myself. I didn't I didn't know I didn't own myself. And here I am having children with no money in the bank. You know how far that sets you financially behind at such a young age? That age, you're not making real money. You don't, and you don't have any money. Oh man. If I knew the understanding of owning myself at such a young age, all that would have never happened ever. Every woman I would dated, I if it didn't work out, especially if I told in the beginning that it wasn't gonna be more, it would never be bad. Oh, it would be I never hate you never get those stories, "Oh, he ain't shit, I hate him, he did me dirty." Those stories would never happen to me because I would have been upfront with them from the very beginning and never changed it. It would have never changed, no matter how much time I spent with them, no matter if I enjoyed their company, we had great sex or whatever, nothing would ever change if I know she doesn't own herself. It doesn't change. Because once you own yourself, you would never let your feelings override what is true. Because going down that road, you can never be with a person that doesn't own themselves. You could never be with them. Your dating life would I'm telling you, man, this goes for men and women, okay? It has nothing to do with the gender preference. I'm telling you, once you own yourself, your dating problems will have been solved. I promise you. 99% of your dating problems will have been solved, done, once you own yourself. You won't When you own yourself, you will never take anyone serious that doesn't own themselves. And the majority of them don't even know that they don't own themselves. They will know that you're different. Listen, okay? Once you own yourself, debt slaves will know that you're different, but they won't know how or why. The reason why they can't, because they're in debt. In order to understand what I'm saying, in order to understand the significance of owning yourself, you must first get out of debt. That's the number one requirement. You have to get out of debt. In order to ever feel or understand what I'm telling you, this will be the advantage of a person, period, that's out in the dating world. This will be your advantage over all the dating advice that you see on YouTube. This is the only type. I promise you, it will change your life. It will change your dating life. Nobody will understand you, and it doesn't matter if they understand. It doesn't matter. If you want to be a person that you don't have to be this player pimp dude pretending and lying and hiding your phone and all that bullshit. You don't have to do none of that. This is what you do. I am dating multiple people. I do not want a serious relationship with you. That's what you said. That's how you say it, with you. And you reiterate that, and don't be scared like, oh man, she might not give me the pussy. Whatever. If she doesn't, she doesn't. I'm just telling you, if you say it like that, the woman will have never heard a man tell it to her like that. First, like I said before, they'll think you're full of bullshit and think you're just saying this up front. No, then they'll see you're consistent. Then you can have as many Be with as many women as you want, and be honest with every single one of them. Honesty, just 100% honest. You'll be, hey, do you always, they'll be like, do you always, use condoms and blah, blah, blah. You say, yeah, everybody says yes. But when they find out you use a condom every single time without a hitch, they're going to know you use condoms with everybody else. That's what they're going to know. They're going to know immediately. How do I know he says he always uses condom having sex? They will know because you will always have done it with them. Always. We say, I am studying my master's, just got a grant paid the rest of my, oh, wow. Nice. Very nice, Frenchelle. Congratulations. Congratulations. Like when you're young, you don't, I almost feel sorry for younger people that will not receive this type of knowledge. And the only thing they can go by as far as relationships and stuff like that is TV, movies, and the so-called relationship people on the internet. Because they don't know, you only take your information from a person that owns themselves. That's the most valuable information that you want to hear from a person that owns themselves, like me. I own myself. And just by saying that, I know many debt slaves have never heard a person say it like that, because you can hear me say it. Like if you're in debt right now, you hear me say, I own myself. You don't really know the magnitude of its meaning. You don't know what to really think. You don't really know what own myself means. Even when I tell you, like I can tell you right now, I can like log into your Credit Karma. There's going to be a big number that pops in your face. You put a negative in front of it, and then that's how much it costs to own you. You have to pay all that money back, and then once that money's paid back, you own yourself. That's what I had to do to own myself. I saw the large negative number, I believed it, and then I paid all the money back. I worked, passed my check to them until the money was gone, and then I owned myself, paid back all the money. Now remember, I keep telling you guys this too. I keep telling you this. While I was doing it, all I was thinking about was just paying off debt. I didn't know I was achieving the goal of owning myself. I didn't know that. I didn't know that till I got there. Once I got there, my life started changing, and then I understood the significance of it. You'll stop wasting all your money. I promise you, you'll stop wasting all. The younger you are to get this information, the wealthier you will become. You'll know exactly how to navigate. It's just like being in the debt. I swear to God, it's just like being in the debt matrix. They will not have any idea of how you're doing it. How is it possible? How could you rise so fast? How could you be so good in something, whatever? They think it's a gift. It is. I mean, it is a gift. This is a gift that I'm sharing with you. That most definitely is a gift. Whatever. They won't know. Everything you do will be 10 times better. And they won't have a clue of how you're doing. You'll be navigating just like the Matrix. They won't even know you're walking around, just talking to other people like you. Like when you're talking, like when you're part of the SMD family, we talk about certain things, and there's certain things that people in debt just cannot understand or fathom. Like even when I try to listen to other channels, but it's mostly gossip. It's just chatter. So I have to leave because it doesn't mean anything. When you own yourself, you just don't waste the time. You just don't do that. Like, for example, let me give you an example. All right. I want you to Google how much it costs to print US currency. All right. Go ahead and Google that. And then I want you to look how much it costs to make $100 bill. I think it costs 14 cents. And how much it costs to make a 50 and a 20 and a one. Just look at it. And then as you look at it, I just want you to, what does that mean to you? When you see $100 bill, like, I want you to think about it, okay? When you see $100 bill and they made it for 14 cents, okay? But you believe it's worth 100. Do you understand? Because you're looking at the numbers on the bill and it says 100. But even though they're telling you that they made it for 14 cents, but you believe it's 100. You understand? So when you look at that, what does that mean to you? How do you translate that? Like, if you had, say like this, say like you had 5 $100 bills in your pocket. You think that's $500. But then you look how much they printed those 5 $100 bills and you say 14 times 5, whatever that is. That's how much you really have in your pocket. So which one do you believe? What they're telling you on the website or the paper in your hand? Whatever. It's totally up to you to believe whatever you want to believe. That's I don't know. I don't know. There's something to show you something. I don't know. And then when you think about it, if it the debt matrix is strong because you got to remember. Say like there will be like if somebody owes somebody $100, right? There are some people out there that will hurt a person if they owe them $100. There's people out there that will hurt another person because they want their $100 back. But in actuality, they're going to be hurting that person for 14 cents. And say like that person did hurt another person for over $100, assaulted them, get the police called on them. Now they're arrested. Now they got to go to court. Now they plead guilty to a simple assault or felony assault or whatever. Now they have a criminal record. They probably spent a few days in jail, lost the time in their life, a couple days, one day, an hour doesn't even matter. One couple days, people think 2-3 days is not a big deal. That's 3 days out of your life taken away from you, taken away. All over 14 cents. Oh yeah, forgot. Buried in fines because it's not, you got to pay a penalty monetarily when you break a law. So now you got penalties and fines or whatever, court fees or whatever they make up and throw in there. Over 14 cents. Now you got to pay thousands of real dollars. Thousands of real dollars. Now you take a step back even more, and this is just a choice for you. You guys are making this choice. So say like public defenders. Since it's public knowledge, since they're public defenders, you can look up their salaries. You can FOIA request their salaries and see the salaries that they make because they work for the public, right? Now I imagine this, and this is just I don't know if since they're public, I don't know if you can really find this information out, but I guarantee you the majority of people that are public defenders are in student loan debt, deep. And the reason why they're public defenders, because since that's a government program, they're probably promised that their student loan debt will be paid off if they stay here for 10 years or some stupid nonsense. So though they're public defenders, what's that really mean? What's that mean? Somebody there to make you feel good? What? They're working for the people that promised to pay off their student loan debt? Now again, I don't care. I'm just pointing out something. Because what I'm telling you, you don't have to be part of it. You could just not be part of it. How do you do that? Just follow the rules of all the I'm talking financial laws. Follow all the financial laws. Just follow them. 14 cents? When you own yourself, you say, oh, 100's worth, they printed for 14 cents. Okay, it's worth 14 cents. Now you're probably thinking, what do you mean? Well, to me, in the real world, if I have $100 and you believe it's $100, I'm gonna use it as $100. They think, okay, 100 means $100 to them. Okay, here's 100 to pay for whatever I'm buying. Anyway, this is what I do. I help you own yourself and be unlike millions of people, millions of people. You'll be unlike them all. All right, if there are not any questions, put that link up there for about a few minutes, see if there's any questions. Any questions? Anything I said? You know, if you're one of the people out there that think car payments is normal, think you're a homeowner with a mortgage, think you're investing in retirement while having student loan debt, and want to understand why, you know, because you're probably thinking, LJ, I've been contributing to my retirement for years. And when I log into my account, I see money and all this other. I know you think you do. Do you see money or do you see digital numbers on the screen? Have you ever seen that money in cash? Have you seen that money in cash or have you just seen digital numbers on a piece of paper on the screen? That's what they are, digital numbers. That's not cash. Until you pay taxes on that money, that's not even your money until you pay taxes on it. It just looks like your money, but it's not. Know why? Because you have no money. That's in reality, that's the bank's money that you're depositing into the retirement accounts. That's the bank's money because you have none. I don't know what that is, Sean. What is that? Thoughts on the Fed coin. What is that? Sound like some kind of virtual coin or something. If you're talking Fed coin. You got to remember this though, Sean. No currency exists for them. None, zero. So whatever coin that's popping up that's coming up on the market or whatever, that's just another thing to keep them busy, to think about something. Oh, if I jump on this, I'll make money fast or whatever. They always think the same program, right? It's just the same thing. Well, what debt slaves don't know that no currency exists for them. It doesn't matter even if I say it here on the mic. They don't know that. They have no idea, no currency. So whatever coin they come up with, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't exist for them. They just don't know that. Government thinking about putting out a virtual dollar. It again, it doesn't matter what they do. It does, you know, you hear about that kind of stuff. I don't really, I don't really pay attention to it because if you want to, like, when you own yourself, put it this way, when you own yourself, because like digital currency is like gambling, but when you understand how it works, the odds are greatly upon you, because debt slaves don't know that no currency exists for them. So if they believe Bitcoin is worth 50,000 because that's what it says on a digital screen, they just believe it, right? All you got to do is just pay attention. Okay, they believe it now. You can invest a large sum of your money, let it rise, because you know it's going to ride, because debt slaves don't know when to pull. And then you just make your money, pull it out. It's free money. All because they don't know no currency exists. They don't even know it. It doesn't matter what coin comes out. It doesn't matter its value. It all you got to do is just listen to the big boys. Okay, who do debt slaves love to take financial advice from? Oh, billionaires, because they're billionaires. Okay, so if Elon mentions some kind of coin, they're going to jump all over it because Elon is rich. So I'm going to follow. It could be Elon himself making some money. Why not? If everybody was listening to me about coins and I just make up a coin and mention it, oh, I'm thinking I'm going to invest in so and so coin, they're going to jump all over it like hotcakes because I'm rich. And I might put a whole bunch of money into it. It'll rise up. It's not regulated. Put the money in, see it rise. They're going to jump all over it like hotcakes. And when I'm done, I pull my money out, and then it's worth nothing. Now, in my opinion, say like I was Elon and I needed some money to go to Mars, like he's doing. I need some extra cash for a piece on my rover. Let me make it real quick. Okay, I'll talk about a coin, throw a whole bunch of money into it. They'll see it. Oh my God, Elon talked about it. Now it's rising, not knowing it's my money that's making it rise. They'll invest and blah, blah, blah. They'll thinking, because they don't know it's going to stop when I tell it to stop, because I'm going to pull all my money. Make my profits, pull my money. I'm out. I figure it's got to be, since it's unregulated. I'm assuming that would be legal. I don't know. I've never done anything, but I'm just saying something that just makes sense to me. Because again, debt slaves don't know no currency exists for them. When you own yourself, you would know that. You will know that they have nothing. I just read an article about a possible federal. They probably will. It would be smart. I mean, you guys probably don't even. Do you see the transition right now? Digital apps. A lot of money is being passed by digital apps now. Have you noticed that? Of course, it's going that way. By eliminating paper, it's easier. Believe it or not, it's easier to keep track of debt slaves by going 100%. Paper is like, to me, when I think about paper, it's like in the way. It's cost money. It costs money for them to print money. The 14 cents. Now they can do it for free. They just eliminate that cost of printing paper, because in reality, debt slaves don't know no currency exists for them. So in reality, the paper really doesn't mean anything. The paper is just to make them believe something, right? If they have stacks of something, right? Once they get rid of that, now everybody's trackable, because everybody wants their own money. And even if you do something illegal, you're probably doing something illegal to earn money. So that means you're doing it for the money. So the money's got to come to you at some point or somewhere. And if it's all digital, in my mind, it seemed like it would be easier to track. It would be so much easier to make them believe. Like right now, the debt slaves believe in digital currency, right? First of all, they don't even know paper money doesn't exist for them. They don't know that, right? And I want you to picture how they are doing debt slaves with digital money, that money that doesn't even physically exist. That's the only difference between paper money and digital currency. One physically exists, the other one doesn't. That's the only difference between the two. It's like people are slaves to social. Oh yeah, that's part of the program. That's part of the program, Sean. That's part of the program. If the billionaires are talking about it, it's already too late. And see, even that, even saying, if the billionaires are talking about it, it's already too late. No, they might be doing it on purpose, so you can jump all over it. Oh, it's got to be right because they're billionaires. No, they got money. You got billions. You can influence a lot of stuff. You got billions. Hey, put all this money into this coin, and then that shit shoot up, starts ticking up. You'd be like, oh shit. Right after he talked, listen, this out of debt slaves. Right after he talked about it, man, that coin started climbing because they'll automatically assume they'll see it going up. Debt slaves just go by what they hear. They'll automatically assume because the billionaire talked about it, all these people are investing in this coin when it could probably just be the majority of his money, he or she money, right? But in their minds of the people, they'll think it's actual people doing that, individual people doing that, and then they'll invest. And just imagine the whole time you have control of that bubble. You have control of that bubble that you create. That's your bubble. You have control of it. Oh, listen, imagine being, because there's two type of billionaires, okay? There's a billionaire that's in debt, a person that makes a billion, and then there's a person that has a billion with no debt. That's a big, trust me, that is a big, big difference. Big difference. That is a big difference. Oh yeah. Beating just all you got to do is watch the commercials of those kind of apps. Just watch the commercials. It's always a young person relaxing, damn near doing nothing, just having fun, eating popcorn, got the app open, and they're investing like it ain't shit because Robinhood is doing it all for them. That's for people that don't know. No, that's not how it works. None of that. None of that is true. None of it. But they know who that commercial is designed for. That's who. That's saying, oh yeah, people that really don't understand it, we'll do it all for you. Of course you will, because you ain't got no money. No different than Credit Karma commercials. They make it look like they always do a commercial with young people in a messed up apartment. You got a roommate cutting their toenails across the kitchen table, or some crying babies, and they're living in those conditions because they have bad credit. And then once they have better credit, they live in a mansion. Everything's happy and glorious, sunny. None of that is true. Who are you talking to? What are you oh, you're talking to debt slaves to make you guys believe credit has something to do with living better. None of that. That's a commercial. When you own yourself, you know better than that. You know better than that. None of that is true. That is not true. Commercials, the commercials be cracking me up. There's this one app I saw about something about taking care of paying your debt properly or something like that, right? And this girl's laying in the bed sleeping. First, she looked like she was worried about her debt. She's tossing and turning in the bed. And then all of a sudden the app comes on. Now she's relaxing and sleeping okay because this new app she found is getting her out of debt for her. This app is gonna get her out of debt. That's not true. An app can't get you out of debt. You get yourself out of debt. No, an app can't do it for you. Oh, they're going to charge you to do it. Okay. 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 You got to go into debt with them for them to get you out of debt. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Because you got to listen, if you're in debt, whatever their fee is, you have to put that on a credit card because you have no money. So you have to go a little further in debt and probably monthly do it. You got to do it monthly. And then they're going to help you get out of debt while you relax in your bed and sleep. When you own yourself, you know better than that. You do. You know better than that. Now, I've been over here more times than normal that I normally do, but I think I had to tell this to you guys today of what I do. So you guys, when you come to this channel, I don't want you to get me confused with the person that gets you out of debt. Though I do that, I want you to understand what I really do for your life, and that's to own yourself. That's what I do. Something that millions of people don't know. They don't do, don't understand how, whatever. I'm here to tell you that I do. If you're a person with low self-esteem, that all changes. That changes. That stops. If you're a person that's easily influenced by the people around you, that stops too. All that stops. You're in a relationship with somebody and you don't know what they do with their money and they can't keep track of anything. All that stops. That ends. You'll never do that again. I'm gonna say this before I go, especially on the relationship side things, right? When you enter now, I never did this ever. People do not when they get in serious relationships. You know what people don't ask for? Can I see your credit report? Since we're getting in, and listen, they usually having sex, doing all that, right? And decide to get in a serious relationship and moving with each other. Never stop once to say, before we do all that, let's see each other's personal credit reports. Can I see yours? I'll show you mine. Since we're getting in a serious relationship, we're sharing our bodies with each other. We're sharing everything, money. We got bank accounts. Let's share our personal credit reports with us. Do you know I had never asked that of any woman I decided to seriously be with until the person I'm with now today? That was the first time I ever asked to see it. People get together in relationships and don't know why they're having financial problems, not knowing that the credit report can answer all those questions. The entire credit report, not the credit score, the entire credit report. You ask to see it. Since you're sharing with, you're so crazy. Everybody, they will share their bodies with each other. But if you go ask for a personal credit report, they will be like, oh, that's too personal. What do you mean? We're having sex. We have a child. What do you mean I can't see your personal credit report? No, that's mine. No, there is no mine. It's us. We're together, right? Yeah, yeah. That will solve 99% of you guys' financial problems in relationships, getting with people. It'll solve it all. Let me see your personal credit report. It's more than I'm telling you, it's more than just about money and credit scores. It's about how they've been, what they've been doing. Do they got restitution? Do they got back child support? Do they got collections up the wazoo? What do they have? It's going to tell you. Their credit report is going to tell you if they have a finance, if you have if you're going to have a financial nightmare on your life. Anyway, that's it. I'm about to get out of here. Thank you everybody for joining. You guys have a wonderful rest of your Thursday. All right, later.